Hi, everybody. I'm Patrick Chun with World Civility Index in Canada. And today with me, it's a software expert, Carolina Tan, with me here. And we're going to be talk about a couple of points, several points as to what are going to make you obnoxious in other people's mind. And Carolina will share 3 points today as to what that will entail. Okay, thank you, Carolina. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Hi, Patrick, and hello to all our ET fans out there. It's nice to be here once again. Okay, mabuhay and magandang hapon from Manila, Philippines. So there. So as what Patrick mentioned, okay, today for the time that we have, what are the 3 things that we unconsciously do that make a bad impression at work? For sure, okay, we want to actually expound on this and be aware of what these are. Let me quote, by the way, okay, according to etiquette expert and founder of Protocol School of Palm Beach, Jacqueline Whitmore, we could be sabotaging our success unconsciously by making a bad impression at work. In other words, do not let bad habits tarnish your professional reputation. So that's according to Jacqueline. Well, in terms of topic relevance today, what are our top 3? Well, number 1, may I mention, habitually being late. You and I would know, whether in person or even online, many people think that it's okay to be such. Well, there's even a study, okay, that says, as published, 6% of American, okay, hourly workers arrive late at work. And according to Career Builder study, another percentage, 25%, okay, of employees are struggling to be on time. Or in other words, they are late from time to time. So why is this actually bad in terms of image, in terms of our reputation and what we are projecting? Well, number 1, must I say, being habitually late is very stressful. Imagine having to run flights of stairs or having to literally be out of breath because you are trying to clock in. Number 2, it also shows a lack of respect for the company that we're working for and also for colleagues. It also has business consequences, right? When our customers are dissatisfied, that is actually very bad for the business. So you and I might say, how do we now tackle this if it has been a habit of being like late on a day in, day out basis? Well, number 1, okay, consider automated clock in and clock out system, okay, what works for you. Number 2, be an early riser. You'll never go wrong with this. Always have a buffer time in advance. And if possible, okay, why not opt for a flexible work schedule? What do you say, Patrick?
Yeah. I know how it is. When people are late, I just feel that they're very disrespectful. My time is important too, not just theirs. So if I have to wait and expecting you and you're 10, 20 minutes late, then I'm basically I'm wasting 10, 20 minutes of my life. And if it is in team meeting, and there are few people, you're multiplying the 10, 15 minutes that you're late by the number of people there. So that's a lot of time. Yeah, that's definitely bad for your image, for sure.
Exactly. So now we go to point number 2. Another thing that you and I may not realize, but when this happens, it gives us a negative image at work. Being disorganized. Can you imagine if our conduct is characterized by what we call confusion and clutter? If you have piles of paper like all over the place, if you have a messy desk, okay, what does that mean? It can hinder our ability to get to where we want to be professionally. It can actually diminish, okay, our productivity. It can cost valuable time, okay, and money. And in other words, this can also be bad for our mental health. So maybe we're asking, but because of the day-to-day thing that we're doing, we can't help it, like things pile up, yes. But how do we tackle this? We can always consider doing what we call a weekly declutter. So decluttering your work desk, okay, it will actually be helpful in the long hand. And if you, like me, are more of a visual person, why not consider having a calendar at hand? So something visual that everyone can see. So when you do have events, okay, deadlines, it can be posted up there and mark it so that everyone would know. And finally, when all else fails, well, there's always what we call a professional organizer that we can hire to help us do the job. So that's point number 2 again. So that has to do with being disorganized. So no to that.
I remember when I was working at one of my engineering jobs in my previous life. I was working with a German group, and these are mechanics, and they actually use their hands to fix machines and so on. And every day after work is over, all the mechanics and so on, they put all the tools away, they mop up the floor, they make it like you can almost eat off the floors. That's how clean it was. And I was really marveling at the German culture. It seems to be very common with German people. They keep everything in really organized fashion. And I think that's the kind of cultural point we can all learn is how disciplined they are. I think it boils down to discipline. And by having discipline, they win 90% of the game already in that sense. So yeah, uncluttering. Uncluttered desk is an uncluttered mind.
Yes, and that's a very good example that you cited, Patrick, because certainly the daily habits like build up. And what could be a more excellent mark of a cultured person than one who can be organized and keep everything like as where it should be? Which brings us, okay, to this bad habit number 3 that we may not be aware of, but once it is obvious, then it actually puts us in trouble. What is that? Temper tantrums. You and I may want to call it sometimes employees behaving badly, or what we even call as workplace violence. Of course, this is a no-no. Under no circumstance that this should be tolerated at all. But you know, many times people like unwillingly like a yell, or they may actually throw fits of temper. They could even get into a fight or even be throwing things around in the office because perhaps they are over stressed out or overly worked. But then again, it gives them no excuse to be behaving as such. I even read an article. There was a Dallas newspaper. Would you believe this actually printed out a story of a particular man, okay? And he got so upset with what we call his washing machine. A machine that helps us in our daily tasks. He got so enraged with it, he dragged it out of his lawn, got his shotgun, and literally began firing at it. Of course, like the police came, and he actually got apprehended. So, you know, eventually this turned out to be what you call appliance rage. Can you believe that? Appliance rage. So bringing back to the office, so if there's appliance rage, we've heard of road rage. Now this time around, it's desk rage. So in other words, how do we handle this? If you and I happen to be in the room, like where this particular rage in the office, okay, is happening, we can do any of the following things. Number 1, act like a sensible adult and refuse to actually be involved. Stay calm. Number 2, okay, what we can do is give the person who is actually enraged at the moment, okay, time to simmer down, just to cool down, right? To be quiet. And of course, lastly, you and I also need to, you know, exit the area, to detach ourselves and give ourselves what we call a time to actually have a breather ourselves, because this is actually mentally stressful. Imagine when we are observing and when we are witnessing all of this happening.
It is so hard. I have actually witnessed somebody who was always calm and level-headed. This manager in my first job as an engineer, and one day he came into the office and just overthrown his desk and just say, "I give up." And everybody was really surprised because it's almost like he tried to manage all the bad stuff that goes on, all the flack from above and all the gripes from below. See, so he was a manager. He was a very good manager, in fact. and everybody was very surprised that he acted like that. And looking back, perhaps one thing a person like you or I in that situation, I would just say, I'm really mad. I am very upset today, and I don't know if I'm myself. Just to warn people that, hey, I'm going to do perhaps something stupid today. So forgive me. And everybody actually forgave that manager, because everybody realized how much stress he was under, and that it was not his own fault per se. It was everything, the management system and everything, people from below him, all that culminated into something that was the perfect storm. And those things, if it was just the washing machine or something, is minor. But if somebody got hurt or worse, as it has happened many times, as we can watch in the news, that becomes a tragedy. So yeah, those are mental issues.
Exactly. Pretty much like being bottled up. It's like a dynamite, right? You'll never know when it explodes, but when it does, it affects everyone in the scene and area.
Yeah.
And you and I may be wondering, what is the benefit of having a good attitude? So if it is negative, to actually apply the 1, 2, and 3 items that we mentioned, what are now the benefits, okay, of having a good attitude? Well, for one, personal awareness, okay, enables you and I to improve on bad habits. If we know we have it in us, there's always room for improvement. Number 2, okay, we will be able to establish a better work pace. So when our accomplishments are recognized, when we're doing the right thing, it will go somewhere. It will get us, to the upper ladders. Number 3, it helps us to improve our company's bottom line. And not only that, making our department heads, our bosses happy. Not only that, but it's positive for the company's reputation overall. So those are the benefits of having a positive work attitude.
Very good. Yeah. I think this is fertile ground for further webinars that we're going to do in the future. Like, what happens if you're not appreciated? Sometimes when people are very cynical, they blow up at work and so on. There are many issues. It's only the tip of the iceberg. But until then, I think we can talk about it next time. So thank you very much, Carol. We'll see again
Thank you. Thank
each other.
you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.